Us, Kylie from Masubi Dojo, Alpha Martial Arts Academy. Hair's a mess. There, that's better. I just wanted to make a quick video because it's kind of that time, it's grading time at our dojo. And it's typically around this time when people start to think about, do I want to go for that next level? And then usually at this time, and most particular at the end of the year, coming up to school holidays, the big school holidays is when people think about whether or not they're going to be coming back and continuing their journey. And I've written an article, a blog article called Curse of the Yellow Belt, which is on my blog page, thinkmartialarts.com, if you want to check that out, where we talk about where yellow belt in karate is often where people quit. Not jiu-jitsu, we all know that's blue belt. All right, but typically in karate, it's around yellow belt level. Sometimes green if they stick it out a little bit further. And the reasons for quitting are many, but usually most of them are unfounded. And sometimes, as I address in the article, the yellow belt thinks that they know everything and they start to get bored. The only way you can get bored is if you stop pushing yourself towards the next level and start pushing yourself harder in class and start really being not critical of yourself, but really looking at your techniques and saying, am I ready to go to the next level? And that can also be where it becomes daunting. And if they make it through yellow and they get to green, and green starts to be the problem because we start to have a little bit of fear around edging closer to that black belt. My thing is with people, it's really difficult as an instructor to see people leave because we've trained with them for so long. Oftentimes we've watched the kids grow up and it's difficult to see them leave. But the thing is, nobody joins martial arts or karate to get a yellow belt. Not that I know of anyway, or to get a red belt. We join because we want to get that black belt. We want to achieve something. We want to get that pinnacle, that thing that we're all aspiring to. And it's easy to give up when it starts to get hard. And this is my thing. This day and age, everything is fast. Everything is easy. You know, you don't have to wait and go to a library to get a book to find out something anymore. You can just jump on Google and find out something. You might not always find the truth, but you'll find an answer. And that can happen instantaneously. If you're out with your friends and you're like sitting there going, oh, what was that movie? You know, we don't leave things to wonder anymore and go 3 days later, oh, I remember the name of that movie, because we've all pull out our phones and go, oh, it's this. And so things are instant, they're quick, and we get frustrated if they're not. And that's, I don't think, helping us. And I don't think it's helping the millennial generation as they move through employment and stuff like that. It causes problems because we're so used to, in early life, getting everything not handed to us, but, you know, everything's easy, typically. And then we find out later on that it's not easy. And that's why karate's good. That's what I love about martial arts. And it's not just karate, it's jiu-jitsu as well. It can be kickboxing as well. Obviously, it depends where you train. But, you know, martial arts has so much more to offer than just the training, because it's those kind of lessons where it's like, no, this is a long-term plan. And when you sign up for this long-term plan, you make a commitment to get to the end. And the thing is, if we allow ourselves as adults to quit, or if we allow our kids to quit, then we're kind of telling them that it's okay to quit before they've achieved the initial goals that they set out for themselves. And I think it's really important that if we can, to keep pushing and encouraging. I know my kids are lazy at the moment and they don't want to always train. I force them. I make them train. I don't drag them by their ears. They don't hate it that much, but they're lazy. They're teenagers and they're lazy. So they often don't want to train. And that's not all my kids, by the way. And they get lazy, and it's a job as a parent to push them forward. Now, I'm not saying if they absolutely hate martial arts that you could continue to make them. But if they do like martial arts and after they've been to class, they come home and they're quite upbeat and positive and excited again, and it's only just before class that they don't want to go, it's worthwhile having a good conversation with them and trying to encourage them to continue, because it's so important to follow through with stuff, to follow through with things that you set out for originally. And, you know, as we get older, the valuable lessons we can learn as kids from this long, drawn-out process of climbing the Q grades is, you know, relationships start out fun, don't they? But they're not always fun. And there is times when the relationship is boring or when it's difficult and when it's hard. And if we've been taught that it's okay when things get difficult or hard or a little bit boring to just give up, then that's going to affect how people approach things in the future. Work, same thing. A new job is exciting, but eventually, you've got to look for the incitement in the job. You've got to look for how you can improve, how you can climb the ranks in your career, employment, whatever. If you just sit there and just go, oh, this is boring, quit and go find a new job, how will you ever get that satisfaction? Do you know what I mean? Buying a house is a long-term plan. Unless you win Tats Lotto. I'm still trying. It's a long-term plan. Raising a family is a long-term plan, and sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's difficult, but we can't just walk away. So if you don't have those coping mechanisms in place, those ways that we have to look for ways that we can overcome challenges, then I think it sets us up for problems later in life. And I think that teaching our kids that time and patience is what we need, and the ability to look at ourselves and how we can improve and what that can teach us is priceless. So I implore the parents of children from yellow belt level up, and I know it's a tricky point, but if we can just push them to competitions, if we can, guide them towards grading and guide them to training and understand that, yep, we all get lazy and that's fine. It's what we do when we get lazy that counts. What we do when we get bored that counts. And if we can encourage them to continue, the rewards are amazing. And it's hard to appreciate until you've been through that process. I understand that. But at this point, yellow belt level, to give up now and to waste those 4 years, it's never a waste. It's never a waste of those years of training, right? Understand that. It's not a waste. But it's a shame because I've never met anybody who's come back and said, gee, I'm glad I quit. And now I've come back and everybody that I knew was my peer is now way above me and I'm back down here and I wish that I never quit. That's what I hear every single time. So they're just my thoughts. I'd love for you to think about those. Give me your feedback. But please, if we can, encourage our kids to stick to the long path. Because when they do reach that black belt level, it's an amazing, amazing achievement, and they will never regret it. They won't. That's all I have to say. Us, over and out.